The camera's not even on us.
He just heard it. He just felt it.
There's just darkness and us jerking off the microphone.
That just confuses shit.
Hey, let's jerk off the microphone.
That's exactly what I said, Kevin.
Welcome back to Kinda Funny's MCU in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every single movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That's Kevin Coelho. That's Greg Millen. Over there we got Nick _Scarpino.
Do you think we'd have more or less subscribers on our main YouTube channel if we jacked off more microphones?
I think we got significantly less because of that.
Do you think we lost people
it's
just
gonna
now?
be the exact same.
First
because
off,
we've been
this
doing
is
it
a
for
callback
while.
now to the Kinda Funny podcast that isn't up yet, so the true fans get it. They're like, these
He's right,
guys
he's
love
right.
jerking things off.
That's the new thing.
I
Like Nick just does that everywhere now.
Lord. Last week was Endgame. We reviewed Endgame. So now we are deciding to do the MCU in review. So what we're doing is giving all of our own list. We're also giving at the top of the show the definitive list that we have come up with voting over the last
Thus far.
2 years. It feels like year and a half, I guess. So it's exciting times for everyone. We all have our individual lists. Some of our girlfriends / wives have their lists as well. I guess fiancés and shit in case she watches this.
My fiance.
Also, when we started all of this, there was a best friend who emailed us and shared us on a Google Drive link where they mathematically put together all of our lists.
Kathleen
and
Kennedy.
It all went together. It was not Kathleen Kennedy, actually.
No.
She
she's
watched
a big
the show,
fan of the
though.
show. Big fan of the
Huge
show. If you're listening, if you could somehow give
He
the
deleted it, dude.
I mean, so it's possible they can maybe rebuild it. They can rebuild it.
That
They
seems
have
like
the
a lot of
technology.
effort.
I
You
thought
don't have
somebody
to
did this
do
on the
that.
subreddit recently when we did the last one.
No, that was different.
Okay, well,
yeah, that
fuck
was
me, I
something
guess,
different.
you know?
And I got an email
really
today
stupid
from
of
somebody
you.
who compiled all of our individual lists from just based on what we've been ranking so far.
See, but that doesn't work.
What do you mean?
That's the
it
problem.
doesn't
Is
work,
that's
no.
not our list. You need to take it from our lists and then do it if you were trying to do.
That's
that
what I'm
type
saying.
of math.
That's what
you
I'm
got to
saying.
take it from these because
Yeah.
otherwise the voting system sometimes it would change the game.
Yeah.
the voting system keeps everything clean for the discussion.
Yeah, because I don't even know
not
if
for
it,
the science behind it.
I don't even know
all.
if it'll be shown. I'm just interested in like what the list would be.
You know what's going to be shown though, Andy?
What's up?
Is all the best friends out there. Thousands of people responded with their list, and it was scientifically, mathematically created to. Oh yeah,
I love that stuff. I love it.
to
I
get
love
down
science.
to their rankings. How similar are they to ours?
Science.
It might shock you, Greg.
With
It
On
might
your
shock
left, and
you.
they all come out of the portals.
Exactly.
We're spoiling
All
everything, by the
thousands
way.
of them. Like, Yeah.
Oh my god!
Crush a beat downstairs. But like I said, this is Kinda Funny's in review product every Tuesday, 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We do this live. You can watch it later on YouTube. You can watch it or listen to it later on podcast services. Just search for Kinda Funny Reviews. What are we going to be doing next week and for the future? You have to wait till the end of this episode to find out.
It's an Avengers song.
Jesus, that
It's perfect.
Grading. I think the word you're looking for is
See,
grading.
Here's the thing. Everybody, I didn't say this before the show. I just thought that, being a bunch of professionals, we would have understood it. But like the reason we're doing this episode is, it's very enticing to non-subscribers when they see the thumbnail. Oh, updated MCU definitive list, like all this. I wonder what these professionals have to say.
I'm sorry, everybody. Do I want to fucking trick them coming in here? They think they're going to be getting fucking Stephen Hawking talking about Marvel?
Yeah.
No, they're getting me, Bilbo Baggins.
Stop.
I'm a moron.
Did you say Bilbo Baggins?
I've missed in review, everybody.
Okay, let's bring up the definitive Marvel Cinematic Universe ranking according to us over the last year and a half. Number 1, Avengers Endgame. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War. Number 3, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 4, Captain America Civil War. Number 5, Thor Ragnarok. Number 6, Captain America The Winter Soldier. Number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 8, Avengers. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 10, Iron Man. Number 11, Black Panther. Number 12, Doctor Strange. Number 13, Captain Marvel. Number 14, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 15, Ant-Man. Number 16, Iron Man 2. Number 17, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 18, Captain America The First Avenger. 19, Iron Man 3. 20, The Incredible Hulk. 21, Thor. And 22, Thor The Dark World.
Kevin just looked at me while that screen was up and said, "Let's change jackets." To which I replied,
Guys.
nobody would care.
Guys, we're trying to get new subs in here, okay? Barack Obama could be watching right now.
For real?
Let me switch to
I mean,
your
anybody
goddamn-
could be watching.
Barack Obama would have turned off when Nick started imitating Stephen Hawking's computer voice.
Oh yeah, 100%.
immediately
That
would have
happened?
switched off.
Yeah,
Yes.
you didn't hear
Did I
that?
black out?
You were yelling. at the-
You were doing your own joke over there.
I love it when we have the.
Did you black out? Yeah, I think you were going, and quote, moron.
Oh, you almost spit up his coffee. You almost spit up his coffee. Oh man.
Oh, man. Also,
It's
Eddie,
fun
can
having fun,
imagine
huh?
being
You should
in
go
there
over
in
this
that
channel
hoodie?
every once in a while and have some fun with us.
Oh my God! I'm
What?
telling you.
What's
And
wrong
this
with
is
this
what the
hoodie?
people wanted, right?
It would be warm.
I don't know. I'm not
Remember
sure.
when the fucking AV Club or whoever wrote us up? It wasn't because we fucking knew our shit. We were having fun. We were having-
Engadget. How can you? That was a big
Same
deal.
difference. AV Club and Gadget. My own blog.
Here comes Nick.
Blogspot.
Here comes Nick.
Nickworlds.com.
So that was our
The most
list.
uninformed opinion.
And here's the
Shut up
thing.
and cut your own hair.
Here's a very important thing to bring up here, all right? That was our list, and a lot of people over the last year and a half have written in being like, their list is crazy. Their list sucks. Blah, blah, blah. All this
Those
stuff.
people suck.
It's
are
like,
just
well, now
dumb.
thousands of people wrote in and made their list, and it's very similar
Wait,
to
how
our
did the
list.
thousands of people
Idiots.
write in and make a list?
You could have went to kindafunny.com/MCU.
Was
I
it like
think
we had a vote poll?
We've been
thing?
tweeting, yeah.
Yeah,
And literally-
we had a whole mathematical thing that they worked out that I didn't pay attention to.
Good. Okay.
Dude,
cool.
they worked on it for days.
Yeah.
The amount of time
Tim and
I
Joey
had to
worked
like
asses off.
try hard to not listen. Yeah, we're proud of them.
Yeah.
Good job, Joey and Tim.
No, I was right there. I was
It
right
was
there with
about-
Kevin because I heard Joey and Tim arguing about it, and I was like, I want to weigh in on this, but I also don't care.
Here's why I tuned it out. I heard Excel spreadsheet. I was like, oh, I don't know.
boring. Let's figure out how math
It was
works.
about 30
Maybe
minutes
I'll
of
click
a
over from
conversation.
playing PUBG to come get into the Excel.
No, you talked about it for like 3 days.
That's
it
not
was like
true.
5-minute segments, but over the span
It
of several
lasted for
days.
4
to
weeks.
be
You
fair,
can't be like, hey, think about it.
to be fair, yeah, Kevin, you're right. We did talk about it for a couple of days of like.
Because you guys
in
had
the
really bad
general-
ideas. They didn't
I
make any
had
goddamn
no
sense.
fucking ideas.
We found a
Go fuck
website
yourself.
that made it super damn simple. All you had to do was go, there's 22 different movie titles, and you rank them.
Yeah,
and then it
that's easy.
assigned points. If your number one got a certain amount of points, your number 22
just like the
got
Oscars.
21 less
Exactly.
points than that, right? It averaged them all out, and that's how we got this list right here.
How many people? Just before I bring it up, do we know how many people wrote?
75,000.
No, I think it was like closer to 1,900.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So based on 1,900 best friends out there,
That's really similar to
A
our list.
wrong has been righted. Thor is above Incredible Hulk.
Yeah!
The best friends have spoken. They're the smartest of us. They're the best of us, everybody.
I'm such a fucking hypocrite. I yell
They're
and
the
I
best
you
of
make
us,
fun
dude.
of me. You fucking
They're
yell
the
and
best
say,
of
here
us.
we are. You're in a pit.
it's true. But
I
anyway,
think that
looking at
top
this,
7's great. Actually, the top 9 are pretty close to ours, right? Except for Guardians 2.
Guardians 2's way too low.
the
Way
entire
too low,
the
way
entire
too
thing
low.
is very, very close
Very
to us. You want to
similar.
see how close?
Yeah.
Bring it up,
We have
Barry.
a side-by-side comparison.
Oh, that's us.
Gaga, bring it up, babe.
There we go. Good
There
job.
it is.
Aaron.
There it is.
So yeah, I made this very easy to read.
Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
Great.
It works for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah. So, the top looks like top 6 is.
So
they're all
this
the same
proves
top
a
6,
theory
right?
that I've had for a while.
That Thor Ragnarok is the best movie
That
ever made.
overall, you can really kind of divide the MCU into just different tiers. And where exactly you place some things, that's up to you. That's up to your personal opinion. Unless you have hot takes like Jared Petty. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
here.
Have you seen this
Yeah, because
list?
you're thinking,
Why fired him?
you're looking like that
glad
top
he's dead.
7. You got some interchangeable ones in there, but for the most part, that's pretty. And then you got the mid tier ones, right? Which are, let's be honest, they're just the ones that they're always going to be in that little middle lane.
They're,
like
they're
Iron Man,
phenomenal.
the Doctor
They're just not
Stranges.
as good as the top tier.
Then you've got the lower tier, like the superior movie Hulk, and then I guess Thor would go.
I
below
really
that.
feel like
Thor
it's
below that.
the Thor, Incredible Hulk, and Dark World are the mid or the
Bottom.
low tier
Yeah.
side. Actually, even fuck that. I'd say
Iron Man, the tail end of
2.
Iron Man.
Iron Man
isn't
2.
great
I would
either.
say Incredible Hulk and Dark World are the low end, and then it just from there on kind of just goes into it goes good,
like
and then
average.
great,
That's
and then
average.
amazing.
You think
I would say
Iron
average.
Man 2 and Thor are in the good?
Good.
I would say they're average.
I will say I've looked at a lot of other rankings online, and we seem to be the only ones that have Iron Man 2 this high. And I think it's because we're the only ones that are right.
2.
A lot of people have Iron Man 2
I
like
want
glass
my
on their
bird.
list.
I want my
want my
bird.
bird.
Iron Man 2 is not a good movie.
Sam Rockwell's so
Iron Man-
great. I love it. Love
I
it.
feel like talking about Iron Man 3 has made me appreciate it a little bit more, where it's like, okay, there is some more depth there.
Greg's made you see the light.
Was it Greg? Were you
Yeah,
the
Greg
big
always
Iron
talks
Man
about
3 guy?
PTSD.
I was always
Yeah. Greg's kind of been the champion of Iron Man 3, I'd say.
For the longest time, I thought you wanted to put the Incredible Hulk underneath Thor: The Dark World, and that's why I've been so aggressive against that move. I'm fine with Thor being above the Incredible Hulk. I'm not fine with it, but that's not egregious.
Yeah.
But we both agree Thor: The Dark World.
No, I like Dark World over Incredible
You're
Hulk.
fucking dumb.
Because of all of the cool scenes between Thor and Loki. I think there's a lot of cool buddy cop shit
Dark
there.
World.
Yeah.
Sure. There's some good stuff in there. I mean,
There was just nothing too redeeming at all
I still
about
really like
Incredible Hulk.
the relationship.
Tim
like
Roth.
that's-
Tim Roth's awesome.
I like the chemistry that Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth have. So anytime they actually get to act next to each other, I think it's just hot, wet fire.
Okay. I'm good. Don't bring it up. It's fine.
Tim was
yeah.
trying to prove me wrong here.
No, I thought you were.
Yeah.
were, but I feel like there was just files.
Cross-examination almost got you there, huh?
Okay,
Yeah,
you can bring up mine
Phoenix
now,
Wright.
please, Barrett. So we don't need to go through all of our individual
Right.
choices, but you can bring it up, show the people, and just kind of point out like a couple of things that are different. My list is also very similar to
Interesting.
what we.
So
ended
you
up
ranked
with.
Avengers higher than the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Avengers
Good for
1,
you.
I really like it.
Good
But
for you.
Again, I would say from 9 up for me, it's like that's all just top
toss-up,
tier.
yeah.
So
Totally.
damn great. So
I would say 10
interchangeable.
up.
Interesting where you put Captain America: The First Avenger, because it's pretty low down there.
Yeah, but
What do you mean?
That's what
Number
wasn't my other
19.
rank.
Like I don't know. I feel like the Iron Man 2 Age of Ultron nowhere near as strong as the first Avenger.
Really?
I
Not
like
even
that
month?
movie quite a bit.
My
though.
thing is, I like
all
Tony
the
Stark.
fun in that movie
a
happens
lot.
in a montage. They're like, cool. You know all the cool shit that we normally do. We had budget for. Put it in a montage.
Yeah.
Flame guys, montage.
Well, for
Throwing
the audio
shield,
listeners,
montage.
can you tell Kevin? Can you just reiterate where your problems with his first Avenger placement?
Yeah, the first Avenger is currently 19, and above it we've got Age of Ultron and Iron Man 2. Both movies I thought were some of the weaker ones. I would have put Captain America, the first Avenger, significantly higher.
I
My
think
thing is
interesting
real-
also on this list though is there where you put Captain Marvel. You knocked that thing down a couple of places on my
Again,
list.
Makes sense.
this just is a testament to how much I love the MCU. Captain Marvel, like you could say that it's low because it's at number 15, but I love Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those are 13, 14. I love Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2. I feel like rewatching these movies makes Iron Man 2 and Avengers Age of Ultron way stronger than when we first saw them because you see the kind of
seeds that were being planted.
and they're examples of what make Endgame so special because it's like all of this like world building and like 2 introduced Black Widow, it kind of broadened the world of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what it all meant. And I feel like all these things are key ingredients to what make the MCU work. But yeah, First Avenger to me, it's fine. But yeah, otherwise I feel like my list is pretty by the numbers. Andy, what's your list look like?
Again, I have Incredible Hulk at the very, very bottom, as far low as it can go. I put it at 26 if I could. I don't know what would go in
Do it.
between
I mean,
there.
you will eventually. They'll have 4 more.
Yeah.
and you
Just
can
put it down at
26.
30 at this point. You know?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll put Far From Home like at I'll put Far From Home at 12.
All right,
Spider-Man
fair.
Far From Home. But yeah, I have Thor Ragnarok at number 1. I think that movie's still the most rewatchable for me. It's still the most fun front to back for me that I just enjoy. Again, I'm the person who, as you'll see, a lot of my top picks, a lot of them are, I'd say, more funny than some of the other ones. So I love the Guardians movies. I have Guardians 2 at number 4, underneath Civil War and Infinity War. I've been
Your
to
Winter Soldier, very low, but that fits with what you're saying about like in the comedy more. Winter
Yeah,
Soldier coming in
exactly.
at number 10.
Exactly. Civil War I do have very, very high, but I enjoy Bacon Guy a lot. I
Yeah,
love that
Bacon Guy is great.
storyline. I love the revenge plot. I love that really cool sort of twist at the end where you discover that, Tony Stark didn't know about Winter Soldier. Like that whole like who killed Howard Stark and all that stuff. I love that whole moment. It's just so cool. I've been battling with myself this whole time. Should I put Civil War over Infinity War?
Wow.
But upon rewatching Infinity War recently, I do think it edges it out a little bit at number 2. So Infinity War is number 2 and Civil War is 3. Again, I have Homecoming probably lower than anybody here, and I've discovered why. I love
You're
the
a monster.
humor. I love Michael Keaton. I love the villain moments. I love Tom Holland as a Spider-Man. But I feel like the action sequences kind of let me down. And I don't know why. I feel like I didn't
They're
love
not
it as much as you
spectacular.
guys. Yeah.
I mean, they're cool
Yeah,
and
they're
they're fun,
fine,
but
yeah.
even seeing the Far From Home trailer, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna see some real cool
exactly,
shit.
Exactly. And I have Endgame at number 5. I just rewatched it over the weekend, and I discovered that I didn't like it as much the second time. Where I could not wait for the final sequence at all. Like going through all the time travel stuff. Again, spoilers. Going through all the time travel stuff, I didn't enjoy it as much the second time around. I enjoyed the only time sequence part that I really liked was when they go back to New York in the first Avengers.
Sure.
Where you get the Captain America fighting Captain America, you get the America's ass line. I loved all that part, but the Soul Stone sequence, even going back to the 70s with Howard and Tony, it's supposed to mean a lot more, and it does, but I kind of just wanted to get to the final battle and get it over with. I do feel like it dragged more for me the second time around. So yeah, I probably have Endgame the lowest, I'd say, out of anyone here. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I have them at 14 and 15. Ant-Man and the Wasp at 14 and Ant-Man at 15. I do like the Wasp movie more because I just don't give a shit about Cross at all. Cross is, I think, one of like the weakest villains.
Your anti-cross agenda, man.
And I hate it, dude. I hate it. And Captain Marvel at 13. But yeah, I'm interested to see where you all have Winter Soldier because I do think I have it the lowest on the list. Again, even though I love the movie,
Liar.
I just have it the lowest.
There's a lot of good movies.
Man, I'm contemplating, should I have put Winter Soldier above Avengers?
Too late. You did
Yeah,
it. This
you-
is what
you
you did. You
should've.
locked it
Don't
in.
be crazy. Come on.
Once we do Far From Home and we do this again, then you can do it.
All right, Kevin, what does your
Sup, dude?
list look
What's
like?
up? So I actually spent a lot of time putting this list together. I looked at my last list. Then I really sat there and tried to concentrate. 1 and 2, Endgame, Infinity War. What?
What are you laughing
What?
about?
What's he laughing about?
Then I sat there and really tried to concentrate.
It's hard.
It's like trying to try. I sat there and I really tried to
It was
try.
homework, We did this on our time off. Anyways, and then like for me, it's very much the comedy movies that hit the hardest. So we got Ragnarok is my number 3, Galaxy Volume 2, my number 4, and I think that gets more love than the first one because the Yondu scene is so
same here.
powerful. Then we have Homecoming, and then things. I think it's pretty normal afterwards. The one that really surprised me is where I put Doctor Strange. Because I like that movie a lot.
Above Iron Man,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Boo!
I think that Doctor Strange is the best origin movie we've gotten, where we have a great story throughout, and then that third act, we get a really solid payoff with Dormammu, and it's not
As opposed to Obadiah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then Black Panther is under Iron Man because it does the exact same thing that Iron Man did, where it was like, oh, now he's just fighting another.
Black Panther would be
Iron
so
Man,
much
so, yeah.
higher for me if T'Challa was a more likable, relatable character.
Yeah, I think that was.
But he's just, I feel like he's one of the more bland heroes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but
it's not-
Michael B. Jordan fucking takes that movie.
He's so
up.
good,
crushes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's not-
only they had kept him alive.
Maybe he's still alive.
No.
We never saw him die.
Yes, we did.
Lazarus.
He got stabbed in the heart.
Yeah, he lived. He
Dude.
lived.
People come back and
literally
show They come back from that
The
kind
Red
of
Jon
God-
Snow back.
The Red God can bring anybody back. What's
They brought
his
Jon
name?
Snow back.
Game of
Red
Thrones?
Skull?
Red
Skull?
Witch?
No, the
No,
Red
the
God
Red
from
God.
Game of Thrones.
The
God
Red
of Light.
Woman.
The Red Woman.
Lord of Light.
The Lord of the Light.
Lord of Light.
Lord of Light.
The Red God.
A lot of red going on
Put a lot of put shit in there. There you go.
Greg Miller,
Hi.
what did your list look like?
Oh Jesus.
I mean, it looks pretty similar. This
Sorry,
is
I can't tell because there's a picture of Greg in the background. That's
Oh,
just
is that
way
Greg?
too-
I thought it was Captain America.
Wow.
Andy,
This
this is a
way
great. Thanks for this.
too-
This is a great Photoshop you did for
Way
me.
too
Thank
busy
you.
in
Put
the
that right in the back
background.
there. I
man.
love it.
A lot of beard.
Yeah, I went back and looked at my list, and I was like, I just have to add in Endgame, and then I was like, oh fuck, no, there's been the Wasp too, and we got to put in the Captain Marvel there. Shit, fuck. Okay, cool. This is more work than I thought it was. As usual with the list, as you said, Tim Tam. I feel like the top 5 are for me. I mean, like I'm with you that you get to the portion where like these are all awesome movies. Top 5 isn't at any given Sunday kind of thing. I talked about it a little bit last time around on the one for Endgame. I'm not gonna argue Endgame's not. We're ranking the cinematic universe as a team here, and this, that, and the other, and so Endgame went to number 1. I wasn't gonna argue about it. Right now, when I went in to do this morning, it was like. And this is a little bit cheating, obviously. But what do I want to watch right now, and what do I feel like I'd want to watch over and over again? And I'm hankering for Homecoming, hankering for Ragnarok, so they went back up. Last time we did this, Infinity War was my number 1. I'm not taking anything away from it. I did just watch it though again, and it's kind of one of those things of, man, we're in Wakanda a lot. we're out here in the field a lot. That's not the most visually exciting thing, right? Like, I like jumping around a bit more in Homecoming and Ragnarok. Endgame, below Infinity War there is where I put it. So right now it's 1 Spider-Man, 2 Thor, 3 Infinity War, 4 Endgame. And then it's pretty much the standard list from there. 5 Civil War, 6 Guardians 2, 7 Guardians, 8 Captain America Winter Soldier, 9 Avengers, 10 Iron Man, 11 Captain America First Avenger, and then at number 12, I have Captain Marvel Enter the Fray. Again, though, with everything we just said, I think these are all awesome, fun movies that I really, really dug. So it's one of those they could have moved around. Like I said, I wasn't even expecting to put Captain Marvel in there. So I was like, oh shit, where do I gotta slide her and put her in somewhere? And then it was just I still loved Iron Man, obviously, for what it meant. I've come to love Captain America so much in this MCU and review process we've been through. So I just put Captain Marvel at 12. And then, Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Dark World.
What's your reasoning for Ant-Man 1 over 2?
Same thing we talked about when we reviewed Ant-Man and the Wasp, where it was just like, oh, cool, more Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man. I do like Ant-Man, but I like him at like a number 13 level. Like I know this is my one leaving and coming back and thinking about Endgame, right? Like, Ant-Man changes the tone of that film in a way that I think it's one of the reasons I like Infinity War a bit more, where it is more of like, this is a serious thing we're all doing as the Avengers, whereas Ant-Man's induction into Endgame is great and different and, obviously solves the whole problem, but makes it a bit more farcical and comic booky, so not like a bad thing. But those were just fun. Those were comedies, but I don't think they hit in the same way. Like Guardians, right? Like, both Guardians, I think, are fucking hilarious movies, but also make me fucking cry. Like, that's like, they take you on a ride and ground it in a way that I don't feel Ant-Man ever did. Where Ant-Man was more like Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd, which is awesome, but whatever.
Rewatching Ant-Man and the Wasp recently, like 2 weeks ago.
I feel like Paul Rudd found his character more.
He definitely did. I was way more impressed rewatching it because that was my second time.
The beginning of that movie is so fucking fun.
It's so fun, and like the crying, what you're bringing up. His relationship with his daughter is so good and so strong in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And the moment where he's like, "You need a partner," and it's like, "Oh, it's not me." It's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
like that's real good. So I'm just surprised to see Ant-Man 1 above.
Because
I feel like. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
It's not my list. Go ahead. Keep talking. Make fun of me more for some of my shit.
Go ahead. Post more photos on Instagram. Go ahead.
If everybody didn't know, Andy has a Twitch channel and he would fucking love you to come watch it. He'll put up really nonsensical stories about it. I feel like after you get past Captain Marvel, that's where I'd be not excited to watch the movies again. Where I feel like right now, if you went through 1 through 12, you're like, do you want to watch any of those right now? I'm like, sure, pop it on. Whereas like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm like, I'd rather go play a game, or I'd rather do. And like, I love Iron Man 3, or I guess I don't love any of those movies underneath that. So I mean, I like them fine. But even like Black Panther, like I still haven't seen Black Panther since we saw it in theaters. Because we did. That's how. Yeah, but I'm saying I literally can't motivate myself to watch it because I get to it and I'm like, I just didn't like this movie enough to care to watch it again.
It wasn't boring.
I haven't seen Captain Marvel since we saw it in theaters.
I saw it again,
and I feel like that's the only one that I would be willing to rewatch again. Like of the lower list ones. Sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like in the first Ant-Man, Paul Rudd was like a different-ish character, and then they kind of did the Thor treatment where like just make him all funny all the time, as opposed to like kind of being like this criminal that's trying to find his way. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Making my way downtown.
Nick.
Yep.
Let's pull
it up. I kept the top 7 pretty close here, except I think we had Guardians. I switched. What did I say? So I have my number 1, number 2, Endgame, Infinity War, Homecoming. I kept up there because I love that movie. I think Spider-Man: Homecoming to me is, I just think, a perfect comic book movie. Everything else I know brings in a lot more dimensions, but when you think about like when I was a child did I want a comic book to come to life and be a movie to be, and it is Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think it's start to finish one of the best standalone, just like comic book movies.
So the first change you have on your list is all the way down at number 9. 9 and 10 you switched.
I swapped.
So you put Iron Man above Guardians, whereas we had Guardians above Iron Man.
Right. So yeah, most of the from 8 to probably 15, I think, is where I made all my changes here. So Avengers 8, Iron Man number 9, Guardians I put a little bit below Iron Man just because there's a special place in my heart when I think back and I look back on Iron Man. It's the movie that I want to watch again over and over again, even though I know by the time you get to the third act, you're like, I'm kind of done watching this. But the first hour and a half of Iron Man, I think, are some of the most fun they've ever had. Guardians, I love. I put Doctor Strange above Black Panther, just because I feel like it's one of those movies where I don't think of either of these very often, but when Doctor Strange is on or I click to it, it's such a fascinating and cool, visually stunning movie. And Kevin's right. I really do think it's a great origin story. Whereas Black Panther, I knocked it down a little bit just because mostly the credit in my mind for that movie is Michael B. Jordan's character. Andy's right. The T'Challa character is just his arc is just not that compelling in this. He's just not that compelling of a character, and I knocked it down one peg because I just don't think the action is as visually cool and imaginative as the one in Doctor Strange.
The one thing that, going back to what I was saying earlier about Age of Ultron and the Iron Man 2 kind of building the world, I feel like Black Panther, what it did for its actual world building is so important, and it's something that you don't really appreciate fully until Infinity War and Endgame. Well, specifically Infinity War, where when you first see Wakanda, it's like, it feels like coming home, and it's like, holy shit, that's crazy for a movie that came out 2 months before that previously we've only heard of Wakanda. So
sure. And then I put Ant-Man above Ant-Man and the Wasp as well, just because I think it's a tighter movie. Like I think that Ant-Man and the Wasp is the more fun movie, but it's also, by the time you get to the end of it, there's just a lot of loose stuff. You know, they got the ghost character, and you've got the Michelle Pfeiffer character, and you're like, what the like? It's just not as tight and fun as Ant-Man toward the end, because Ant-Man's just a heist movie.
Yeah.
And it's they paid the respect to the audience of Ant-Man to get you in and get you the fuck out. They're like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up the Ant-Man world, get in, get out, done.
The ending train fight scene in Ant-Man is
it's awesome.
so good. I haven't thought about that
Sadly
in a while.
ruined in the trailer.
Yeah.
They ruined
Yeah.
that great moment in the trailer where it's like, boop, boop.
Upon rewatching Thor Ragnarok over the weekend, I just kept thinking, imagine if we didn't know Hulk was in the movie until we saw the movie. Like,
That
how
would've been
cool
so
of a
good.
reveal that would have been.
Yeah, but it sold
like,
it.
it
The
was-
buddy copness of it sold it.
Yeah, I feel like it with the idea of like Hulk's gonna be in this, and like this is gonna be a Thor Hulk buddy cop movie.
They,
It's
needed,
like,
they
all
needed
right,
that.
yeah.
They really needed that moment, because you have to remember, like before Thor Ragnarok, everyone was like, "Fuck,
People
"Who cares
down
about Thor?"
on Thor, yeah.
They needed that moment in where Thor busts through and he goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we work friends. We work together." And everyone's like, "What?"
yeah, we knew Hulk was going to be in it before, and I was okay with that. But I agree with you, where the moment of seeing him be the guy he's facing off in the pit, that I wish that they had kept as a
Oh,
surprise.
I love that. That's the thing that tipped it over the scales.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
agree with Nick. Where that trailer, that moment in the trailer really sells the like, oh, this is gonna be
It's
a
gonna be
goofy
silly.
movie. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Goofy movie,
Shenanigans.
classic.
And then I think I've knocked down Captain Marvel to 15 just because I have no desire to watch that movie again. I think it's the least fun origin story that we've ever gotten.
Scrolls though, they're dope.
I really like the scrolls.
It was cool, but I don't think it did the period very well. And I just feel like her character doesn't have. She's just not as compelling as I want it to be. She's just this kind of just OP character, and that was kind of backed up again when you see her in Endgame, where you're like, she just can do anything. It's just like the Superman of the MCU, and you're like, it's just not that compelling.
I
to
think
watch.
it needed more Tia and Tamara Mari. That like solidifies the 90s for me.
Cool.
That's the era
Yeah,
for me.
no, I
You know,
respect
smart
that.
guy.
I didn't realize what problem I had with Captain Marvel until right now.
it, right there.
Holy
That's what it was.
shit,
Yeah, that's it.
sister.
Yeah.
I had
Never knew how
Gia,
much I missed her.
Thank you for that. I had Gia rank the cinematic universe as well.
Damn, she
her
put
list-
Iron Man hella high.
Yeah, her list also pretty similar to the overall, with the exception of she loves Iron Man. Like
Hell
she
yeah.
really loves Iron
Wow.
Man, and she really does not like Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is very low for her.
Fuck Doctor Strange.
Why does she
Dude,
not
that
like
makes-
Doctor Strange?
Captain America's
She thinks
really
it's
low.
boring. She just doesn't like it.
That
She,
movie's
she
boring
thinks
as
that he's
fuck.
worse Iron Man. Like that's just her only thing. And so
fair.
she's,
That's fair.
she's stuck up on that, but it's fine. But yeah, she really fucking likes
Dude, this makes
Robert Downey Jr. as
so
Tony
much
Stark.
sense with the like loud crying during Endgame.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, she's a very big Iron Man fan, even 2 and 3. But yeah, another surprising thing
Ragnarok's
to me
up there.
is Civil War being as low as it is at number 10. Even that not low.
That's real
Break
low
off
for
the
Civil
marriage
War.
immediately.
I know,
Yeah, you
it's
gotta
over.
cancel that.
It's over.
Yeah.
But
Cancel the marriage.
I am proud of her for putting Winter Soldier so high.
First-
because I feel like that could be seen as boring if you're just in it for what it seems like she likes the comedy.
First Avenger below Hulk. That's a low blow to Captain America. Wow.
And then we had Jen rank it as well. No, Paula rank it as well.
Yeah. So Paula hasn't seen
We're 22 to point.
Captain America.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah, I'm sorry.
22 is blank.
So we couldn't, unfortunately. Her schedule's been too busy, and it's not out at home.
Okay, so
yet.
we got some hot takes here.
Yeah, she has some interesting...
Coming in at number 17, Captain America Winter Soldier.
She really doesn't like Captain America, no matter how much I tell her she needs to rewatch those movies. Now, if you remember, the Winter Soldier is the movie that we walked out, like, just fucking in love with. and she was like, "I'm done coming to these stupid fucking movies."
What?
But at this point, she hadn't seen any of the movies that came before.
Oh, you
like,
saw the movie
or had-
together.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
is that the one
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie was at? No, wait. Who was in the theater?
You're thinking
Wait,
the time
what?
that Tyrese
Furious 7.
yeah.
But yeah, she very much likes the comedy movies, as you can see with the 1 and 2 being Guardians. Yeah.
And she also really likes Thor. That's the other thing.
100%.
Thor.
She has no shame in being like, Chris Hemsworth makes those movies amazing.
He's
So
not
there
bad.
you go. And then we have Jen's list.
Sure.
It's the image in the background.
So when Jen sent me her list, she said, she goes like this, you know what I realized though? My rankings are 100% influenced by seeing those movies with you and being ridiculously in love, so I don't think my opinion matters. This is evidence, she says, by basically Doctor Strange is where it cuts off, where she had been seeing stuff without me. She also refers to 19 through 22 as the blur zone, aka not sure I could tell you what the plot is for Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Avengers, or Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh my god, I hate the
Fantastic.
Avengers is in the blur zone.
Blur zone. But yeah, Thor Ragnarok, 1 Spider-Man, right there at the top. Infinity War, Endgame.
I mean, that's the top 5.
The first stuff is she starts off pretty much in line with us in terms of
Black Panther
interchangeable
and
ones.
Captain Marvel.
I had Black Panther
very
number
high
16.
up there.
Yeah, she loved Black Panther. We didn't agree on that one. We both loved Captain Marvel. That's why we've already seen it a bunch. Doctor Strange, too high at number 8, I think, but that's my wife.
Doctor Strange is
What
a
are
great
you gonna
movie.
do?
It's just-
No, it's not.
No.
More than Guardians, yeah, pretty low. Under Doctor.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. And Winter Soldier, number 11. Winter Soldier, man. I feel like that's one where anybody that thinks they don't love it needs to rewatch it.
I agree with you 100%. Remember, this was the conversation we had going into this. I was like, ugh, I thought that I didn't like Captain America, and I thought Winter Soldier when we started this was overrated. And by the time we got there and I'd seen them all in succession and I was totally into it, I was like, you know what? No, this is fucking awesome. I just came into Winter Soldier the first time being like, first off, people had already been all up its butt saying it was so amazing and da 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 da, and then like getting in there and not remembering certain things or any connections
not putting
really.
the connections.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: if Winter Soldier isn't in your top 5, you're a fucking cop. That's all.
You're a cop.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
But I do
I
feel
stand by
like
that
with
statement.
Winter Soldier, you have to watch Phase 1. Like, you should definitely watch Iron Man. You should definitely watch the first Cap. Like,
I mean, for all of these, you should watch all of
No, I
them.
understand, but like Winter Soldier, you need a little bit extra, more knowledge of stuff to really get the full effect out of it.
I mean, I think that's just an empty statement because I feel like that's like any.
I mean, I don't think that's true. I think you can watch Thor: The Dark World and be like, "Oh, this is a crap movie." Like, it's a crap movie no matter what you do. Or watch Ant-Man and the Wasp and still, it's.
I think it's the same.
still funny.
Same issues there.
I was listening. Oh, do you have more lists? Because I was watching
I really
an
thought that
interview
Nick
with
was doing
Russo.
a bit. Like he went to the bathroom. I thought, oh, of course. And then he came in and then went back out, and I was like, oh, he's doing something. He's gonna come back in. No, he just comes eating food off Joey's desk. Just grazing off Joey's desk. Not.
I was listening to an interview with the Russos, and I was linked this several times because we made fun of a lot Banner in the Hulkbuster suit in Infinity War.
Awful.
And it was revealed that wasn't supposed that
They did that last
Scientist
minute.
Hulk was supposed to be in Infinity War.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's
Yeah.
why the CG looked so like kind of last
No
minute.
shit, really.
But they
When did
just
that
got-
happen?
Little head.
They couldn't figure it out.
Very last minute.
Yeah, very last
Very
minute.
So
last
where was
minute.
this supposed to happen? Do we know what was supposed to happen in the storyline?
I don't
They
know.
were
if
just gonna have him
Yeah, I think it was just gonna be Banner,
Yeah.
Science Banner or whatever, Science Hulk.
Smart Hulk.
Science with Hulk.
I feel like probably what the original plan was that, at the beginning there's that force of like Hulk not wanting to come out.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually Banner was going to like force the change but still be Banner.
Yeah.
Would there have been build up to that? Do we think, or would it just been like when he came running on the field?
I feel like there probably would have been more build up and like a better payoff because you kind of see at the beginning of like what are they trying to build to,
Yeah,
and then
they
it
just
doesn't.
drop it.
Yeah, they
It was
totally drop it.
Wet Dirt who linked me the article. Also,
Dirt 28,
God, there was some other reveals from recent interviews with the Russo
real quick, let me
brothers.
just talk about that because when we watched Infinity War, Paul was like, "I can't wait for you to watch Endgame so we can talk about stuff."
Oh, that was
and
one.
it was like a year and some change that I had to wait to find that out.
Well, because
Yeah.
Hulk was
Yeah.
it was that, but he was supposed to like come to terms with it or whatever in the scene where they were running. He was going to bust out of the thing. Yeah, as Hulk, which would have been
Gotcha.
fucking
Oh,
cool.
that would have been awesome.
Like there's Lego
Yeah.
sets of that happening.
Gotcha.
Also, we got linked several times that the final "I Am Iron Man" line
Was
in
last
Endgame
minute.
was
Oh, yeah.
last minute addition. It was just supposed to be a snap, But they were like, we gotta have him say something. And then one of the writers was like, how about I am Iron Man? Like in part 1, they're like, oh my god, let's do it. Let's get it now.
Yeah, that was so fucking. That was such a great
That was a beautiful
choice.
moment.
You ever go under the fence? You ever see people that do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, through the leg. If
Isn't
you're wearing a
what's his
short, you go
face?
under the
Who does
fence.
that?
I've
What?
seen people do it
How?
sometimes.
Isn't it
What do you mean you've
Scoville
seen
and-
it?
You see it. I've seen people walk up to urinals and go under the fence. You're like, how are you doing
Isn't that a Brian Altano
Where
thing?
they go through the leg hole?
Where they
Yeah.
go, if they're wearing shorts, they just popping out.
Oh, so they don't have to do their fly or anything.
No,
in
just-
they're
shorts.
just wearing skirts with no underwear.
Because I'll do it. I'll do it at the urinal where I'll unzip and then pull out the leg of either. I'm not joking. You're thinking,
you do what?
thinking of me.
Why?
Not Altano or Scoville. You're thinking of me. Yeah.
Well, you go. You what do you drop
no,
your
you-
pants
don't
and then
they-
take?
No, I
what do
just, you undo the thing and then you just do this thing.
Why?
Because there's no fly on me undies. What am I supposed to do? I pull it down
Push it
sometimes.
down.
We've talked about this before. And then it guillotines. This is a conversation.
Yeah,
we've
the
had.
guillotine is an issue. You don't want to choke it too hard because then it might not come
Snap
back.
Everybody's worried about
So
Thanos.
now that they've got the hole there, you're gonna get some new pairs and just go through the fence.
Well, I need new pairs, but I hadn't worried too much about it yet. You hadn't thought, that far into it.
I also hate all of you. You the least. And then I'm gonna give Greg second.
What did I
least.
do?
What did I do?
Hate you
What did I do?
the most.
What did I do?
I didn't get the most?
We're gonna jump over to you. You'll get second place, which is a cool start. Fuck you! I'm trying to make money here.
I was obsessed with
You should,
I looked at him and I was like, "Not cool, bro."
Tim, you should hate me because I looked at Tim and I went, I looked at Nick and I went, cool. Like, cool start. But also, every time Nick does the wheeze laugh, I'm always reminded of when Mario Not Bros did the video of the repulsors. And I just,
Oh man. Okay, so that was our update on
idiots.
our definitive ranking of the MCU so far. Now I want to talk about the future of the MCU. What we have coming up next.
What do
This
we
show
know is coming up?
a lot. I'll tell you everything that we know.
Okay.
Nick Scarpino.
Let's go.
And obviously, we will be doing reviews for all these. We'll be updating the series whenever the movies come out. We have Far From Home July 2nd now, which is been said to be the end of Phase 3. It was often thought to be the beginning of Phase 4, but recently, about 2 weeks ago, Kevin Feige came out and was like, nah, the end is...
Nah.
It
y'all
was
bought
always
him.
stated to be the end of Phase 3, though. Yeah, it was. I've read
no.
several articles on it. Yeah, it was. It was always stated.
Fight.
And
I love seeing them tear each other
Definitely
apart.
wasn't.
no, it for sure was.
Either
Give me the
way,
proof.
it is
Either
now
way, it
the
is
end of
now
Phase 3.
the end of Phase 3.
Very
for
excited.
sure.
We've seen the trailer now, which is great. Which we like because we were all like, how is this going to play into the bigger world? And spoilers, it's like he's really still hurting from the loss of Tony and from everything that's happened, which I think is a really,
Awesome.
really smart choice.
Yeah.
Really, really cool choice.
I imagine we're going to get a post-credit scene from it, building future stuff. Unlike
Well,
we
how
saw in
badly would
Endgame.
you cry if it's a post-credit scene where it just opens up, it's another message from Tony? He's like, hey, man, I really miss you.
No
Bye.
way. I think
Yeah.
that's. Do you think
It
that's
won't
what
happen?
Do you think I have a couple questions if we're going to discuss the trailer and what it pertains to the MCU? May I take the floor, Timothy?
for it.
Thank
Take
you.
it
Number one, we see him put on the Infinity War glasses from Tony. I'm wondering if we've joked and talked a lot about Tony Stark being an AI, right? And like that being the
I don't
voice.
think it's a
and-
joke.
Do you think that? Do you think when he puts on those glasses, that's the first time when is he
he's
gonna be
taking
like
over Friday?
Hey kid, and they'll be like, what? Because he has that look in his face, like he can't believe what he's seeing or hearing.
That would
and if
be-
it is like I'm gonna, and he's gonna be like Mr. Stark, and it's like no, I'm an AI, but I'm gonna be human one.
I feel like that is the obvious thing that they're hinting at
Yeah.
with that. I think it's a little early to have it be in Far From Home.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's if it exists, it exists.
I
gotta
feel
let him
like
rest,
I
you
feel
know?
like they'll like show it off in this one, but he won't use it because he's got Karen as his like AI
Yeah.
thing. I don't think they'll make it like a major thing until maybe the next Spider-Man or
Who
whatever.
plays Karen again?
Isn't that
The
the
love
voice?
interest from the original Hulk Eric Bana movie.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Oh, Jennifer
Jennifer
Connelly. That's
Connelly.
right.
oh yeah.
That's right. That's awesome.
Vision's wife.
Yeah, she's married to Vision.
Real life Vision.
Vision from Solo.
It'd be really cool if that is how Far From Home ends. Like
Yeah.
somehow Karen gets destroyed, his suit gets totaled, he gets a new suit that is a little bit more Iron Man-esque, and that's what
Well,
like.
it seems like we're going away from that, right?
It's
Because he's in
interesting.
Iron Spider, but then he's in the normal Spidey
Well,
suit,
yeah,
then
but
he's in
you-
the stealth suit.
You got to imagine that he leaves the Iron Spider suit back in the United States,
yeah.
Sure.
and then gets forced to
Can't
put
get
on
it
the
through that
black.
metal detector.
Exactly, can't get it through the belt. Gets forced to wear the black suit.
Yeah, by Fury on the
and
stealth
then,
strips. Yeah,
like somehow gets the.
I just don't think
original
Iron
Spider-Man.
Spider is going to be his full on look. I think that's something he's I
I'm
think
surprised that he's in it as much as he is, even
in the trailer. It
Me
seems
too.
like a fair
'Cause it
amount.
was-
But he's in it in those moments in
in
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love this.
But it seems like there were shots.
They all love him. He's
Yeah.
like, just doing your job for
Whoa.
you.
There's shots in the last trailer that are in this trailer where he had a different suit on. So like that's interesting. Like when he's talking to Aunt May in the behind the scenes, like then behind the when they get the big check, he was in the other suit.
Yeah, the
But that-
original.
First trailer,
Yeah, but I assume he's wearing that in that part of the movie.
wearing the Iron Spider suit.
The regular Spidey suit.
He, in the new trailer, he's wearing the Iron Spider suit there.
I didn't even see the
Really?
Aunt May stuff in
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, I don't remember that
I
either.
didn't notice.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
I'll-
I think you
I'll
might be
check.
mistaken.
Well, either way, we've seen
We'll
three
rewatch it
suits
on
that he's wearing, right? We've seen the Iron
screencast.
Spider, the normal suit, and then the stealth suit, which I
Yeah.
think looks dope. What I love,
But
what I'm
isn't
very
his
excited.
cloth suit different too this time around? Just his normal one? There's the stealth suit
I
that
think
looks like
it
noir.
has a slightly different color.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
it has
darker.
less like
White.
the black lines.
Yeah, the
on it.
blue is definitely like a super
Yeah, yeah.
navy.
I'm like totally not remembering this right. But what I think is cool, what I'm really looking forward to though, is this is really the first time that Fury's interacted with Spider-Man,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And
So
their
now-
relationship's going to develop, which I think is going to be really cool.
As we continue on in this, here's what I want to talk about. Right, is Mysterio obviously in there? Right, saying
guy.
he's from a different dimension.
Not.
Fury believing it. Right.
Not.
Here are my questions on all the things you're about to say. Here and the theories I'll propose, of course. I of course do not believe Mysterio is from the multiverse. I think he's there and he's
Interesting.
doing the tricky thing. I also am putting it out there. I don't necessarily believe this is Nick Fury. I think this might be a Skrull. And the fact that he says, "Bitch, please, you're from space," is a great Samuel Jackson line. Not as much a Nick Fury line as what we've seen. Nor do I think Nick Fury would be so quick to trust Mysterio and get duped by Mysterio because Mysterio is an idiot. However, of course, it's after Endgame. All hell's broken loose. Nick Fury needs to find new Avengers. I get all that. The one thing I want to propose is I don't think Mysterio will be from the multiverse, but I do really like the idea that at the end of the movie or as an after credit scene, Spidey or Tom Holland just being like, "Man, there is no multiverse. That sucks." And then like either a voice or like a light like from Into the Spider-Verse and
Well, there is a
Tobey Maguire.
multiverse.
Huh?
We know there's a multiverse. They confirmed that in Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, okay, but well, sure, but I'm saying that fine.
Interaction with it, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
That he's been led wrong here. He doesn't know there's a multiverse. I guess there is no multiverse, and then a white light or blue light that either is the Miles Morales, Miles Morales voice from Into the Spider-Verse, or Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, that stuff gets really interesting because of Spider-Man's situation licensing-wise with Sony,
Yeah.
with what they're on. I don't think that they're gonna combine them that soon because that would also lead to Venom and things like that, which I
Which would save the MCU. honestly.
exactly right.
They
Like,
need a big bad. Venom would be perfect.
Yeah, the Mysterio stuff's interesting because it's like we all know the story. We know Mysterio, so it's like we know he's up to some shit. But like, how many like
619.
swerves are they going to give us on
Yeah.
this? Like, are they going to swerve where it's like there is a multiverse and this is a good Mysterio, but there is a bad Mysterio that's from this world?
See, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a big twist toward the middle of the movie where you realize that he's been duping everyone and like he's in charge of all the other bad guys, and that's just kind of classic Marvel.
That's the thing is that just seems like not a twist.
Yeah,
Do you
That's-
think the
so
multiverse is what they'll use to bring in X-Men?
I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah.
Like that seems pretty lazy.
What do you go with then? The theories or that kids are kicking around online, us included, I guess, or whatever, of like the snaps. Because Rocket's like, there's more cosmic energy than ever out there. Is that what?
I'd love that. I love the idea of it being completely different than what we've seen before because we don't need the Holocaust stuff and all of that. We've seen that done so many different times. It's like I'd love to see a more modern take, a brand new MCU take on X-Men. I think it's gonna be a long time till we see X-Men in these movies at all. This is what I'm talking about.
really hope so.
The scene from where it's like him, Aunt May, and Happy were talking, and in the last trailer he was in the.
Is it the same background? I know
Yeah,
exactly
it
what you're.
looks
You're
like
right.
a
Yeah.
different room.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't look
Because
exactly
the other
like
one
the
looked
same
like
thing.
an auditorium. This looks more like
that looks like the back of a kitchen, whereas the other one I thought looked more like it was like the VFW.
I don't know, but I mean, he has the same hair
Sure.
as in the shots and stuff.
The
so.
there was this thing that leaked recently on Reddit that I was showing Kevin and Barrett that Ben Mendelsohn was a teacher in the background scene at the end of Endgame where
Yeah.
Spider-Man arrives back in high school after the snap and he reunites with
Ben Mendelsohn, the bad guy from
the
Captain
Skrull.
Marvel. The Skrull.
And apparently he's one of the teachers in the background.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Can I see a photo of Ben Mendelsohn? I don't know who we're talking about.
He's the bad guy from Rogue One.
with the lift kind of?
Oh, the guy who the Skrull.
Yeah,
I'm caught
the
up now.
funny scroll.
So it definitely is the same room.
Damn, Tim, let it go.
No. I just
Click back to the other one.
Let it go,
Click
bro.
back to the other one.
Just because he's right.
Damn, bro. Fucking hold him tight.
That's it.
Oh, I see. Huh.
Maybe they went back to that location. Maybe that.
I mean,
that auditorium plays a
aren't
pivotal
all of
thing.
his suits pretty much CGI? So like if he's in a
Yeah, I
green
think
screen
you just
suit,
swap
then
it
whatever.
out.
I mean, they
Okay, cool.
They left a fucking Starbucks
Oh,
cup.
I mean,
in Game
why
of
would he
Thrones.
be still using the cloth suit when he has the Iron Spider? You know, like I feel like go for the Iron Spider.
feel like it's
safer,
100%.
better suit.
I mean,
I don't like. I don't.
Cloth
I
suit
don't want
looks
it to be
cooler.
the default. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like
he's all
in
about style.
danger.
He's all about style.
No, definitely not.
Depends,
He
because
doesn't
you know how
wanna
sometimes
die.
when you're like, I'm only going on this trip for like 2 days, I'll pack my backpack instead of my full suitcase.
Sure.
That's probably what he thinks.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a
know?
lot. It's a heavy.
It's like, do I really? And then you think, oh, my back kind of hurts. Maybe I do want to roll something around. But then it's like, Kevin's gonna make fun of me for being old, so I'll just
Yeah.
be in a backpack to prove I'm still tough.
Yeah.
But then in the end, I'm like crying
He gets
inside
hurt,
because
yeah.
it hurts.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any
Yeah.
chance that we get Mysterio being from our world somehow stealing technology from like another universe, and then that's how? Like,
He would do all
I'd
that
like
shit.
for them to do it that way, where that's how he's doing it all, kind of laying the seeds down for like potentially doing something crazy in the future, like the zombie universe that like came out. Not that I'm saying like this is gonna evolve into that. I'm saying it would be nice to have an offshoot and like lay the foundation down. Yeah.
The multiverse stuff is really interesting to me because like I typically don't like it because it just seems to
It's too easy of an answer
to solve
stuff.
problems
yeah.
to anything,
Yeah.
right? Like in the same way we're like, oh well, why don't they just always get Captain Marvel? And they're really trying their best to
Yeah, it's
explain
like, oh,
why.
she's out in space.
It's
I
like the
hate it. I
multiverse
hate it.
stuff.
It's always stupid.
Makes it
every
like
time.
so like,
She's
that's
busy.
like times a
Fuck
million,
you.
right?
But they've always done that though.
Like,
with-
fuck you,
Nick
Like,
Fury.
come on, what's she busy doing? Who cares? Bring her back
Saving
here.
other planets
Yeah,
and
but I don't get to
stuff.
see that shit. I'm
Yeah.
paying fucking money.
Yeah, you do.
I'm paying. I had a ticket.
Jesus
Fucking paid
Christ.
ticket.
Such an idiot.
I'm paying fucking money.
Well, like Spider-Verse did such a great job with it, but that was such a contained story.
Of
where
course,
that's
of
all
course.
that it is.
That's
right?
why
This is
I just don't.
ramifications for
I
the whole
just,
thing.
I really don't think we're gonna see anything from it. I just think it's a lie.
Having said that, though, the Spider-Man comic series, like when you look at the MCU and like the stories that they've been grabbing for their movies,
Yeah.
it really has been the last 20 years of series coming out, like with Captain Marvel being based on the 2012 Captain Marvel. And like we're seeing recent things, Spider-Man, which is where Miles Morales and Peter Parker first meet, like from the different dimensions being brought in. Mysterio is the link.
Yep.
Mysterio is the
Yep.
cause of all of that stuff. So
It's really cool too.
so that like it could not be a lie that there's multiverse stuff. But yeah, there's something up with Nick Fury. I do think it's a Nick Fury line to say bitch though. Like I don't think that's out of character
It was
for
a
him.
very weird out of place line for me in the trailer.
I mean, it's
That was like
Samuel
the
Jackson.
trailer.
line, yeah.
It was how he delivered it that made it feel like not Nick Fury.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't think that there's some trickery with Nick Fury. There has to be. And I feel like the scroll stuff, I don't know, it's just weird because Far From Home has so many different elements of these movies that how much are they going to throw in here into a Spider-Man movie that is typically the smaller scale,
Yeah.
like dealing with the results of Endgame. And there's scrolls from Captain Marvel, and there's the multiverse stuff.
Do
It's
we
like,
have any
that could be
other
a lot.
indication that there's scrolls in this other than just that theory that he's one? Yeah, that would be
Well,
weird.
potentially what he's talking about one of the teachers being.
Mendelsohn being in the back. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's a blurry shot. But
Yeah,
like,
it's hard
it
to
was posted
tell.
on Reddit, and a lot of people were like, "Holy shit, that is Ben Mendelsohn!" And then Yahoo picked it up and was like, "Holy shit,
Yahoo!
Ben Mendelsohn's in the back of this shot."
Maybe he just freelanced as a teacher. Maybe
Oh,
he was like, I
also-
really want to give back to the community.
Also, this has nothing to do with like theories or whatever. But recently, the whole cast and crew photo was posted on the Marvel subreddit. Like everybody who's worked on the movie, like all the main
Infinity War
actors in the
and
front,
Endgame.
everybody's in the background. And in the middle, you see Sean Gunn with Yondu's mohawk thing. And so, but we didn't see that in the movie. So I wonder if that a lot of that was cut.
He's in the
maybe.
scene.
But does he
in the-
have the
in the
mohawk
background.
thing on his head?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
okay.
that's the thing. Like, even when we went to rewatch it, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to focus on that," and it's just that moment is so exciting.
There's so
and it's
much
hard.
shit going on. Yeah. It's crazy. So the important thing is the Phase 4 release dates that we know so far. There's been a ton of news.
Stuff, right?
Not Ben Mendelsohn.
It looks like a fucking Bigfoot.
It looks like Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from that, like the still that they had.
By the way,
Goodness.
side note, sorry, I totally forgot to talk about this in the podcast, and this is total non sequitur, but I think Edward James Olmos was on my flight to Vancouver.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy from Battlestar Galactica.
What?
Stand,
The dad in
Stand by
Selena.
me. Yeah. It was
Edward
weird. I
James
looked at it, he was in
Olmos.
first class, and I was like,
Let's go back to Marvel
Edward
though.
James Olmos. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
EJO.
Let's talk about that at lunch because it was a very important thing in my life.
What the fuck?
Yasman in the chat says there's a theory going around that Nick Fury is actually the chameleon.
And
Which is
that
not a bad theory.
I feel
That
like
makes more
would be
sense. That makes a lot more
sick.
sense.
I think that
Sinister
makes
Six?
a lot more sense because of Sinister Six. I feel like there's so much like what you were talking about, the classic Marvel stuff. I feel like they want us to believe it's a Skrull. You know what I mean? Like there's so much shit where they're gonna like plant the seeds, but I hope it's Chameleon, and I hope that we're getting. Imagine if Spider-Man 3 is just Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man Sinister Six.
If I'm 555,
What if they did this though? What if they set all these seeds here and then they made a Sinister Six movie on its own without Spider-Man?
I'd be fucking in.
Nope.
I'd love that.
He was
I was
going
making fun of
somewhere.
Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Dude, no, I would love that though. I feel like at this point, MCU could do that, and it would be good. Like once you build up these, if you get
I think he's
Vulture
talking
in
about
there,
the one that was in the
Yeah,
world.
he knows exactly.
I'm
Sorry,
aware.
I was
Yeah.
confused.
Dude,
But
that
also-
would be really cool.
So,
that would be a really
where
big
you talked about the licensing rights and stuff, though, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
would that even? I mean,
So here's the thing with Spider-Man currently. He was on Tom Holland was signed up for the two feature movies and then the spin-off or the ensemble movies. The ensemble movies are done now. We have Far From Home. Things now need to be negotiated in order for Tom Holland's Spider-Man to
gonna get a
stay in
dump
the
truck full of
MCU.
money.
It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like there's
Back
no
up the
reason they
breach
wouldn't do
But
this.
Sony also has to then.
Well, Sony's the one that has to agree. But the thing
Yeah.
with Sony is they pretty much have no reason not to say yes
They like
because
money.
they're making so much money from the deal where it's not just a buyout. They get a ridiculous amount of the proceeds and royalties from the movies themselves.
Also, it keeps Spider-Man popular. you
and
know?
which then helps Venom and all their other bullshit that they're doing.
Morbius.
I am a loser too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the Phase 4
seems
release
awful.
dates we have. So as of today, literally like right before we recorded this, Disney announced its updated release date list for a bunch of different things. Before we had May 1st, 2020, July 31st, 2020, November 6th, 2020, and then February 12th, 2021, May 7th, 2021, November 5th, 2021, February, May, and July 2022. So 3 MCU movies a year. The only change there is July 31st, 2020 is now gone. You have to assume that would have been Guardians 3, but because everything got delayed
Yeah,
with
got
all that
pushed back.
situation,
They're pushing it back, yeah.
that's
Suicide
pushed
Squad
back
2?
to somewhere, right? Movies that we know are happening are Guardians 3. We know it's directed by James Gunn. Pushed back until after Gunn can complete work on Suicide Squad 2, or Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, is what they're calling it.
It's not even a
Poke it
sequel.
up, man.
Which makes me kind of sad because, Thor now being with the Guardians, what does Taika Waititi do now? Like, is he going to be put on another project?
The rumor there is that, and this is from Tessa Thompson, is that Thor movie script with Taika attached to it has been pitched. And that's the status there. It's not official. It's not happening, but there has been a pitch.
Got it.
With her as.
Also, I'm throwing it out there. The Meek movie. I would watch it.
Yeah,
Meek would be
100%.
fucking
Dude.
awesome.
Oh
Are you
my
kidding
god!
me?
But it's not even them being superheroes. It's just them
This
living
is
in an
the-
apartment.
It's like a rom-com. Yeah.
Honestly, I would watch that.
It's like 2.5. It's like 2.5 men. Me.
3 men, 2 men.
Guardians 3, we knew, and we knew all this stuff back when Gunn had first finished the script. So this is like before all the shit went down. That this is the end of this team's story, and there's a intense focus on Gamora, which now makes a lot of sense given what we know
Yeah.
from Endgame. But we knew that years ago, which is kind of interesting. Black Widow, directed by Kate Shorthand. Shorthand has created several award-winning short films. She spent 3 years directing episodes of Network 10 television series The Secret Life of Us.
I have no idea what that is.
Might have a relationship to Secret Life of Pets. I'm not sure.
No.
I don't think
Directed
so.
3
It's
features.
the British title for it.
Somersault,
They
Lore,
don't have
and
pets in
Berlin
Britain.
Syndrome. Have you heard of these, Nick?
No, none of
Yeah,
these.
I don't know, but it seems very like film festival-y.
It's
type.
very much what they do. I mean, remember Joe and Anthony Russo? Like, yeah, they came from what Community
Community and a bunch of TV shows.
and a bunch of like indie. I think they did a couple
But that's
indie
stuff
films.
we knew.
They,
and
they
we're like,
started
yeah, it
in like
was good.
Arrested Development as well.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But so that was like everyone was like, "That's a weird choice," but it totally worked out. So I trust them. This sounds
Yep.
great.
And then The Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao, who is a Chinese film director, screenwriter, and producer. Her debut feature film, Songs by My Brothers Taught Me, premiered at Sundance. And her second feature film, The Rider, was critically acclaimed and received several accolades, including nominations for Independent Spirit Award for Best Film, Best Director. So
Cool.
At this
again,
point, it's like I
continuing with
trust
that. Yeah.
all of them to find whoever they
Well, but
want.
I mean,
No,
but it's smart, right?
exactly.
You have a lineage of people who have proven they could tell really good stories, and then you take that experience and plug it into the superhero universe.
Put
and
your
you
spin
get,
on
you
it,
get
sort
good
of.
movies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. crazy to think that.
So the Eternals, the comics tell a story of a race of beings created from proto-humans by godlike aliens known as Celestials. It's been said that romance will be at the center of the intergalactic story, specifically the relationship between Akiris and Cersei. The cast is starting to come together with Angelina Jolie and Kumail Nanjiani attached to star as those characters. Celestials we've seen in Guardians 2 with Ego and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the bad guys are the Deviants, which I was looking into it a bit. I've never read Eternals comics, but it sounds like Thanos is parts deviant somehow.
Yeah. He's a deviant version of their Titans.
Their race, yeah. So going back, like this story is like over millions of years.
Yeah.
So it feels like from what it sounds like from the movie, it's going to be like over a long period of time.
kinda cool.
Like
Aren't the
jumping
Eternals
through.
somehow connected to the X-Men? Like,
Immortal.
didn't they?
That's the
Inhumans?
Inhumans.
No. But like, I believe Eternals then experimented. It doesn't matter.
I have no
It's
fucking
real
idea.
complicated.
I think it's
stuff.
cool, and
We'll
I think
see.
I want to see what they do with the broader like universe, like the cosmic stuff, because you feel like that's something that we haven't really explored. Like they talked, I don't think did they reference it at all in Infinity War, like the Eternal or the Celestials? Because we know Ego's a Celestial, right?
Yeah.
But the other ones are like time and
I feel like,
like
didn't we?
chaos and shit, right?
I don't think those are Celestials, right?
What are
That's
those?
one level above.
Is that one level
those
above
are,
Celestials? Which ones are those? Because that's from the comic.
Eternity and all those.
Yeah.
Those
From
are
the
one
Infinity
above.
Gauntlet story. I forgot what their name is.
Yeah, I can't remember either. They're like concepts or some weird thing like
Yeah.
that. But
Anyway.
the other Celestials we've seen is the head nowhere that is just floating around.
That's a Celestial.
Yeah,
Or
The
used
planet
to be.
as
that
well.
used to be. Yeah, and then also there's the giant Celestial that had the Power Stone in its like weapon and destroyed that.
Right,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be fun.
They kind of like seems reminiscent of what's his face, Galactus. Like giant
We're gonna
dude.
get
Yeah.
like this.
Doctor Strange 2 was
Fucking
confirmed by Kevin Feige back in summer 2018. He noted that the sequel would arrive a number of years from the first one. And it's once again being directed by Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson.
Black Panther 2 is another one that's official, directed by, once again, Ryan Coogler.
Cougs.
I bet that Namor is in this. Namor.
Who the fuck
Namuskis,
cares?
Whatever it is.
Namor.
Because looking at in Endgame when they have the
Namor.
scene of all of them together and they talk about the earthquake underwater, I just feel like that's a good way to get him involved.
Sure.
Because like there's been rumors of him having his own movie. I just don't buy that.
Seems being a villain. Yeah.
I was watching a Comic Book Girl 19 video and they were talking about Namor or whatever the hell, and they were saying that he's like the first mutant. I know nothing about Namor, and it's just interesting. Like,
Oh, he's one of the first heroes. Period. Right?
no.
First Marvel character
First
ever,
Marvel
yeah.
character, but like
I think we just need to decide. Is it
they've
Namor
also,
or Namor? I'm going with Namor.
Namor's
Let's
fine.
go Namor.
I hate all of you.
And I couldn't remember which one I was on.
Yeah.
The two
Biopic.
Yeah.
Biopic.
So it'd be interesting if that is somehow also an introduction into the X-Men universe. But I want to do more research on
I've
Namor.
never liked him being a
Yeah.
mutant though and all that stuff. Like that, I feel like you should keep people kind of like in their own little realms, or else it just kind of gets
Wow,
mucky.
segregation over here.
Oh
Hey,
shit!
fuck them muties.
Oh my
and then
God.
Shang-Chi is the other one. Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu.
Hell yeah.
As his name. Not a superhero, just very damn
Super good
good
at fighting.
at martial arts.
Don't need
He
this
is a
one.
master of every martial art.
Really don't need this one. This
one,
one
it's-
smacks of Defenders to me, and I'm like, I don't want to see that.
No, this is going to
It's
be
more
awesome.
Hawkeye and Black Widow.
I don't want to see that either.
No, I think this is more Black Panther 2, or Black Panther, where it's like.
He does have superpowers though.
But
you know?
I think that in terms of like how good the movie's going to be, like what it
Yeah,
is
that's
trying to go for, it's going to be directed by a Chinese American. They haven't decided who yet. It's going to star Chinese American, all that stuff.
that's cool.
And I feel like if we had to bet on those dates here, I think that Guardians would have been in that July spot, but Black Widow and Eternals I think are the next up. So next year we'll probably get those two. What this release date list doesn't include is whatever Sony decides to do, and if they put more Spider-Man movies in there
I hope
somewhere.
they do.
Really quick, another thing that I watched has nothing to do with what we're talking about, so sorry. But another in the interview with Russo Bros, they talked about how when they were filming the funeral scene, they always called it the wedding scene because they didn't want to spoil anything. So they kept referencing it as the wedding scene. And then they filmed all this before Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? And so Tom Holland's on set going, Is that Michelle Pfeiffer? Why is she here? Because nobody knows why Michelle Pfeiffer's in the fucking movie.
That
like
would blow
why
my
she's
mind.
here.
I would lose my shit if I didn't know Michelle Pfeiffer was going to be in the movie.
Yeah, it's really,
what
really
the
cool.
fuck?
Tom fucking Holland, man.
Him doing the like talking before the video for the trailer that came out, being like, "Hey, spoiler warnings."
Yeah.
He's so British.
Yeah.
I love him. Who are we calling him, Greg?
Is this Agent M from Marvel?
This sure is.
Hey, this is Greg Miller, and you're on MCU in Review. How are you?
Good, Greg Miller. How are you?
I'm great. We don't know how to say Namor. How do you? Is it Namor? Namor? What do we say?
Namor. You had it right. It's like Nay, N-A-Y, more, M-O-R-E.
Thank you so much. We have a guy here named Barrett, and he is just dumb as a box of rocks.
This is like a bag of kitty litter.
You're a disgrace, and I'm very upset with you.
Thank you, Agent M. We love you.
I literally had never heard Namor until I started working here.
Bag of kitty litter. Is it
Like
new
a 130-pound bag of kitty litter.
Is it new kitty litter or old kitty
Probably.
litter?
You know how you accidentally mix the old with the new, so you find a chunk of poop in it every once in a while. It's like dried out.
So you got to imagine
don't have
in this
cats.
phase 4 as well that Captain Marvel 2 is going to be
Somewhere,
fast tracked in there based on $1 billion.
It doesn't need to be.
You know?
It doesn't need to be.
Just because you didn't like it, let us enjoy things.
So what needs to be? What would you put
He wants
there?
Daddy's Home
He
3
wants
fast.
Iron Man 1 to come out again.
No, literally all the movies you just talked about are more exciting than a Captain Marvel 2. That's just like, oh great, what you gonna do? Fucking rocket through another giant ship again?
I'm excited for it.
I like her.
All of these
I
sound
think I
cool to
like her.
me. I feel like there's a couple holes there where we don't have as many movies announced as there are dates. So there's a question of whether or not there will be Avengers 5, New Avengers, Young Avengers, whatever
Sure,
the hell,
sure.
or if we'll
West
go
Coast
a whole
Avengers.
phase without an Avengers movie. On top of that,
What about
Kevin
Baby
Feige,
Kid from Iron Man 3 in the funeral scene? Is he a new
Baby
Avenger?
kid.
or Young Avengers? potentially. Yeah.
Who's Baby Kid?
The
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3,
yeah.
the
the
little
kid in the
kid.
funeral scene.
Well, now that he's got a daughter, though, she's
Shane
got to go be Ironheart. You know what I mean?
So Kevin Feige said that Phase 4 would last for 5 years, from 2020 to 2024, and so these release dates only go up to 2022. So it could be another situation like Phase 3, where it's like
Really long.
it's going to go on forever compared to Phase 1 and 2. That were
Right.
Great.
It's
I'm in,
awesome. It's so cool to
100%
be
in.
on this right now, this precipice
Yeah.
of not knowing anything.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's
'cause
gonna be
we've
cool
liked
to look
everything
back
for
at
so
this
long.
date, like of
Totally.
we just had no idea.
Fucking when we found out Barrett's stupid as hell. A date that will live in infamy.
Like, I can't even. How does he say
No,
it?
but what I love about this though is that we know it's in good hands. We know it's the same
You're
team,
getting
and they've
very-
laid
fuck
such a solid foundation for all this stuff, so that when you start talking about the broader universe, you're like, oh, I trust that they're going to do this right. I trust Eternals. I heard about Eternals, Angelina Jolie. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know how she's going to fit in to this world, but I think it's going to be good now. I'm excited.
that's the thing that's crazy, is that we're excited for Eternals movie, and it's like when we think back to what we thought
We
about
had made it come out
Ant-Man
on
and
Johnny.
Guardians and all that shit.
I mean, I don't think we're excited for it.
I am no, that
vaguely
absolutely
I like
interested.
that pitch. I'm like, that sounds cool. I want to see them tackle the broader like
It still
celestial shit of the universe, because I love that. It's like
Me
it's
too.
wild
It's
and
Space is cool, man.
I want to see him do Silver Surfer and all that shit too.
Space is the
I
place.
still think that it feels very Inhuman-like, where it's like, is this gonna happen?
I think it's
happening.
I understand
Next
that
year,
it's
I
a
bet it.
totally different case, and I hope that I hope it's a Guardians of the Galaxy situation where we're just like, awesome, this is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, hopefully.
Then also, of course, there's the Disney Plus shows. So WandaVision, that's 2019. And then we have the 3 to be announced dates of Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Hawkeye. Those are coming at some point. On the Fox side of things,
Hold on real quick. With these Disney Plus shows, WandaVision, are we thinking that's an alternate timeline? Do we think that's
I think it's
what
her-
happened while they were...
before Infinity War.
Yeah.
No, I think it's after Endgame. She is listed as one of the most powerful mutants in like the comic book type of shit. So I think she creates her own like personal reality where Vision's still alive, and through that it's like a character story
The
of like
opposite of Vision
of like
comic.
her trying to come to terms with that
Gotcha.
he's really gone.
yeah, there was a comic series like
really depressing.
2012, I think it was.
It was pretty recent.
Where it didn't have to do with
Was it
Scarlet
that
Witch
long ago?
bringing her back. Yeah, it might have been 2014.
But it was after Scarlet Witch and him had broken up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so he gets brought back, and it's like this really weird. It gets really fucking dark.
Really dark. It's a great comic though. You never read it?
What's the title of the comic? John?
Vision.
Yeah, Tom King. Yeah, we read it on Comic
Yeah, I
Book
thought
Club.
so.
Yeah, so cool shit. But I think that
good
they're
stuff,
gonna
right?
go
That's
off with that.
Oh, the cover looked really good.
Then yeah, Loki. At this point, you got to imagine it's the 2012 Loki that made off with the Stone.
I hope he has his older hair. I don't like it. Like upon watching Ragnarok, it's my least favorite part of the movie. Just his hair.
What's wrong with his hair?
He's got
Is
the
it a
Tommy
wig?
Wiseau hair.
Is it a wig?
Oh yeah.
Was it a wig?
I don't know. Looking at with Scarpino.
I can't remember.
Rest in
Bring up
peace.
a picture. Let's take a look.
I can't remember.
Really
I
quick
remember
for
the
the
fucking look like.
WandaVision, I'm actually like I really hope they go that route. I really if it's a prequel, I'm not going to be as interested. But I also hope that it's not in like some other timeline or something. I hope that it's happening in our world and like it like leads to things that like reflect in later movies.
I think it will. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
being called WandaVision is very on the nose, and it
That's-
being this weird
yeah.
1950s-esque,
Yeah.
more like fake reality that they build, but it is
Yeah.
in our actual world.
That's actually cool. That's a cool pitch for it.
And then
hope
yeah,
that's
Falcon and
what
Winter Soldier. We'll see. My pitch is I think it's just going to be about him coming to grips with being Captain America, which would be really cool. And then Hawkeye, I'm hoping is based on the Matt Fraction comic where it's Hawkeye and now his kid, so like a take on the
Kate,
comic
but not
series.
Kate,
Yeah.
Is it confirmed to be Renner? Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah. So that's great. But yeah, on the X-Men side of things, so we had Dark Phoenix, June 7th is coming out.
God, I just want it to be over.
The New Mutants
Delayed again.
announced
delayed.
today, delayed until April 3rd,
Jesus, can't just
2020.
fucking
How is a
shit
movie
can this
that was
movie.
a complete delayed now a year and a half?
I don't know, man. It's scary. Like, just stop. Just don't make
fucking
it.
cancel it.
And then Gambit was canceled. So,
Yay.
so there's
Oh,
that.
Sherry.
Man, I want a cool Gambit.
Dude, they're going to get it.
Someday,
And that's what's going
someday.
to be so fascinating is when they start, whenever the fuck it happens, because it's inevitable, when they start introducing the X-Men in a really cool way, they're going to fucking dominate.
But he needs the
It's
cool
gonna be so
headpiece.
cool. The question is,
It's
can
the
they...
cool thing.
Oh, he's going to get it all.
Yeah, I think
They can
he.
do it.
I
They
think
don't fuck
he'll
around.
get it.
Origins, he didn't have it. I was so sad.
Yeah, because that movie
Origins was
sucked.
dumb.
Those
They had a
movies were
boxing scene for
bad.
55 minutes. No, I mean, I think they're really going to do... Like, just think about this. Because before all this started, when you guys were growing up, could you imagine a world where Avengers was like that much more popular than X-Men? It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And once X-Men gets into this universe, I think it's going to fucking dominate.
So yeah, I
It's gonna
think
be
X-Men,
so cool.
I think X-Men's going to be a while, but I was on a train
Take
of
your
thought
time.
earlier, but I
I
think
got no place to
Fantastic
go.
Four is coming soon. Like
Really?
I think Fantastic Four will be fast tracked to be one of those movies.
Do you think
That
they'll
would
Which
be
one of the
the-
of before 2022?
Yeah.
Through 2022?
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Because I would guess that phase one, like we're not gonna get any, or the next phase we're not gonna get any X-Men, and I would imagine the following phase will be all like introducing X-Men into this world and seeing how that all pans out, and then I'd like for the final phase and the like giant conclusion story to be like some Galactus story, you know?
I'm interested in when we're going to start seeing team up movies that are like directly called this and that, like in the way we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, but like in more of a crossover way that function like Ragnarok did. But
Wolverine
have it-
and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
things like
Wolverine and
that,
Spider-Man would
you
be
know?
fucking awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and it's like we don't know what's up with Deadpool because we knew that X-Force was announced
Slated,
and being
yeah.
worked on. It's like, what does that mean for all of this? Like, there's a lot of things up in the air, but it'd be really cool to see like Captain Marvel and something else to make
And
it
someone else OP'd.
or not OP. So like,
It
change
would
it
be
up.
really cool to see a movie and have Deadpool in there with like a cooler looking suit and be like, oh, I guess Disney has more money than Fox.
Deadpool and Spider-Man
Yeah.
is a great comic series, and like that'd be a super fun dynamic to have. But I think we might
Spidey
hate
or
a lot
just
from
Wolverine
that.
and Deadpool. Just make it happen, man.
My,
See, they've talked about Deadpool staying rated R and stuff. I think that's cool and that's great. Don't fuck with what's not broken, but I don't think they put Spider-Man in there.
Oh, I know.
'Cause
That's
feel like, yeah.
but that's why it'd be interesting if they
Sure,
did
it'd be
it to-
awesome if they could.
to figure it out.
Disney
Could
ain't got
easily
the
put Wolverine in there
balls.
at some point. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
my like dream and like fantasy for all this, like the one shot that like I hope the next couple of phases gives us and like really commits to it too, is I really want Rogue, a mutant Rogue, to grab on to Captain Marvel and just
Fuck shit up.
just put her in a coma for like 5 years and steal all her powers, and we get the like flying super powered Rogue that we know from the cartoon series.
That'd be great. And I imagine honestly that they're gonna go that route, and I think
hope
that
so
it's gonna be involved very keyly in Avengers vs. X-Men. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would be
man.
that would be
Oh, man.
awesome.
Fucking
Yes.
awesome.
Oh man.
God, let's get that.
Can I
scene.
ask you a question real quick?
Yeah,
And
go
this
ahead.
is not, as a DC kid, when knowing Rogue from it. Can Rogue take anyone's powers or just mutants? Like if she touched
she can
Captain
take
Marvel,
anyone.
she would get the Infinity Stone kind of power, or
Well,
the
I mean,
power.
she takes anyone's powers because I mean, like when she
touches me, she gets, like, asthma.
They fuck
Yeah.
them up, right? So yeah, and yeah, with Captain Marvel, she ain't no mutant.
Touches
She
me,
don't
she's like
fucking
allergic to cats now. And shit.
yeah, damn.
Oh, this is terrible.
Stupid ass
But it
Rose.
wears off.
This guy
So a lot
sucks.
of you have been asking what the next in review series is going to be.
Nick,
Ladies and
take it
gentlemen,
away.
We have a ton of them to show you. Actually, it's the entire summer lineup of what we're going to be doing from now until early August. So Barrett, roll the clip. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Gotcha with the guy there in the beginning. Everyone's like, oh, Detective Pikachu, only one movie. Yeah, we're just doing a one-off there. We just thought it'd be fun
so
because
excited
we're very
for it.
excited for that movie. And
That PR guy in the chat says, "I can only get so erect."
that's the way to go. So yeah, next week will be Detective Pikachu. A one-off adventure where we just go through and all make fun of it
See
and
what
have
it
fun
does.
there. But then we're doing Aladdin in review. There was a lot of talk about people wanting the Disney classics in review and Pixar movies in review, but I couldn't find a way that really made sense to keep people interested for that long. Those movies are also kind of hard to access because of the vault until Disney Plus and all that stuff. And I thought the best product would be comparing the animated versus live action versions of the Disney movies coming out. So that's why we're doing Aladdin animated and then Aladdin live action, and then we're going to do Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4 leading up to that in theaters, then Lion King animated, Lion King live action. In between all of that, we're going to do Far From Home, obviously, in MCU in review, and we will be doing Dark Phoenix for X-Men in review, and then we're topping it all off with a little Hobbs and Shaw action for Fast and Furious in review. So yeah, very exciting stuff for everyone.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Fuck you, Andy.
That's good too. Until next time.
We love you 3000.
Oh.